Dear Heavenly Father, bless us today and thank for this beautiful day and be with us as we make wise decisions for our school district as we go forward. Be with our students and our administration and school teachers as we go through the pandemic and keep them safe. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second to approve the agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll start with public participation and comments.
Board, you have 4 that have pre-registered according to policy. For those who have pre-registered, you have 3 minutes. I'm going to call you out in order that you were registered. And then there's also one in the back, so I haven't had a chance to go to the back yet. You have 2 here, so I'm going to start you in order for 3 minutes. Your first one is Mr. Jason Shaw.
Good evening. Thank y'all for letting me help speak tonight. Sorry?
If you want to come over there, you can.
Oh, good.
Jason, I'll just give you a hand wave. Thank you.
Thank y'all for letting me come out tonight to speak. I'm sure a lot of you have seen and heard comments, gripes, complaints about the school nutrition program and the quality of the food that's being served to the students. It started for us 2 years ago when my daughter left Bell Academy and she moved up to the Consolidated Middle School. She went for the first week and she came home complaining every day, I can't eat the food, I can't eat the food, it's just terrible. Well, darling, what changed? Last year, the whole time you were at Bell, no problem, no concern at all. So anyway, it went on for a couple of weeks. We told her, give it a chance, give them a chance to get moving, get things worked out, get started. Sometimes things start off rough. Well, she did, and then she still came home every day just starving to death over not eating the lunches. And I finally asked her, I said, why aren't you eating? She said, I'm not going to. It's nasty. It's terrible. So I started having her send me pictures in the 7th grade 2 years ago. And within the first 3 days, we stopped making her eat the school lunch. We started sending lunches. I forgot all about it until this year. We started high school at the high school. Told her, hey, give it another shot, see what it looks like. And she did, and she said it's just as bad, if not worse. But at that time, we started complaining and found other parents that had children with the same complaints. We started collecting pictures, brought those pictures and those complaints to the nutritional director over in the maintenance building over there. She said, I can't speak to you about that. You have to speak to the principal at the school. I called Mr. Cotton. Mr. Cotton told him what my concerns were, what was going on. He laughed. He giggled and said, I have no control over the nutritional program at the school. You need to speak to the nutritional director. So I went back to her, told her what he had said. She refused to speak to me at that time, would not do it. So I started calling, trying to speak with the superintendents about it, to bring the pictures forth, show them what was going on with the school lunches. Couldn't get a phone call back. And that's what brought me here tonight. We've amassed a lot of pictures, a lot of evidence, and a lot of other concerned parents that want a resolution on this. And we're here to try to encourage you to address this issue and remedialize it and move forward in the correct direction. Our students, our children cannot learn if they're hungry. I guarantee you, you put a student, a child, and you face them with trying to pay attention to their teacher or to their stomach's going to win every time. They can't do it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Talia Brown.
Good evening.
Evening.
These are some of the pictures that Mr. Jason was referring to. I also reached out to the food service director. She also told me that I would need to reach out directly to the principal. And I spoke with her and I told her I was just coming as a concerned parent, as someone who has 19 years of food service experience. I understand that in the pandemic we are facing difficulties with food and food shortages. So I wanted to reach out to her to see what we could do as parents to make sure that our kids are having nutritional meals. So I looked at the policies, and so there are some problems with meals not matching what is being posted online. And so I wanted to ask her, who's responsible for making the substitutions? There is something that the school district is supposed to use, it's called the Red Book. And in that Red Book, the director or the manager of that particular cafeteria is supposed to write down how many of each meal or each option was selected or produced that day, okay? Who is responsible for making and approving these substitutions? Are the managers just making it on their own? Because based on protocol, they're supposed to walk up the chain of command and she's supposed to approve it. The policy on the website states that students will be polled for their preferences. When was the last time our students were polled for preferences to see what they like versus what they don't like? Several students have complained about milk being spoiled. And if students, I'll use something here for an example, like these 5 chicken bites with a half a cup of lima beans and a milk was chosen with these. If the milk is spoiled, then that's no longer deemed as a redeemed or reimbursable meal for the school district. Based on the policy of offer versus serve, 5 components do have to be offered for lunch. At least 3 of those components have to be chosen and be consumable in order for the school district to be reimbursed for those meals. So if we're serving spoiled milk to students, then how is the school district properly justifying being reimbursed for those meals, okay? If the food is at the high school, the food is served in styrofoam containers. Students walk through, they grab the styrofoam containers. If food is left in styrofoam containers, how are we making sure that our students are properly receiving warm meals, that food is in the correct temperature? Once food falls into the improper temperature danger zone, now our students are at risk for getting a foodborne illness, and that's on the school district. Your policy also states that the school has a wellness policy, a wellness committee. Where is the wellness committee that goes into the schools to make sure that the food is properly being served, to make sure that things are up to par as the policies are stating on the website?
1 minute, Ms. Brown.
Okay, each school is supposed to have a wellness coordinator, so I would like to know who is the wellness coordinator for the school. A 16-year-old male is supposed to receive 2,661 calories a day. 2 of those meals will come from school. If this is all the child is consuming, not only is it hard for them to study or participate in class, but a lot of our students are athletes. So how are these students going out in the heat, practicing, and being able to function properly at practice if they only consume this small amount of calories? Again, I'm not here to point fingers. I'm here to help. Our students also don't have microwaves in the school. For students who do bring their lunch, that would give them an option to at least bring something that they enjoy eating and that they will eat because they have an option for a microwave to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Ms. Samantha Cole. Samantha Cole. Samantha Cole. I think I'm pronouncing this right. Samantha Cole. Just making sure none of y'all are Samantha Cole. Call that a no-show. Cynthia Martin.
Hi, I'm here on behalf of my 2 kids that go to school here. I have a 16-year-old son who's diabetic, and he doesn't eat vegetables. And when he's only given like 2 things to eat, and he only has like 4 nuggets to eat for lunch, he has to eat that. He has to take it, count his carbs, takes his insulin, he has to eat no matter what y'all giving him. And he comes home hungry every day, and my daughter gets early in the morning to fix a sandwich. She ready to eat a sandwich to eat the food y'all giving them. And it's just speak to other parents that the food they're giving us, they said it's nasty. You don't think it's even cooked all the way. So I'm just on behalf of my son, because there's other kids probably in school that's diabetic too, not just him. And they gotta eat what's been given, or they'll still go hungry. And he's always coming home hungry, wanting food. And he only allowed to get 2 snacks a day, being diabetic. And it's hard for him to concentrate and everything. So I just want to know, hopefully y'all do something about this and get better food for our kids. better choices. And I've heard they have a choice of a salad too. And my daughter says there's no choice of getting a stuffed salad and everything. So just hopefully y'all do better in helping, food with other kids, especially on something diabetic. He has to eat whatever's given. So I'm speaking for him and other kids. That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think I'm saying this right, Jesse Grays.
I'm here on behalf of my grandson, and the only thing I'm asking is I need an alternative for my child because he has asthma. He cannot stay in a classroom. We got, here we have a doctor, Dr. Tia. We had one last year, we have one this year. And the point that I'm making is this. We spoke with the superintendent on August 9th through an email. He said the district, they weren't going face to face, and I understand that. And we've been trying to reach out to the board members. We reached out to the board member on August the 17th, 21, August the 12th, August the 22nd, the 9th month and 7th day. We also reached out to Ms. Bell, which I think she's the liaison for the board members and public. We sent an email to the members, no response. My grandson been out since August the 9th. No schooling. And it's not the ideal, and we're talking about, he's been on the superintendent list from K all the way up to now he's 8th grader now. Because of the pandemic, I understand. But last year, you all made an exception for the students. You did virtual. But this year, it's worse this year than it was last year, but you refuse to go virtual. And that's your choice. But by law, if a child got a disability, then you're required to give him an alternative to learn. My child, my grandson deserved, just like any other student deserved, a right to appropriate and a free education. So that's why I'm here, because time and time again, and even with the superintendent, it was real nonchalantly, like, okay, maybe next year. No, not next year. This year. My child needs his education this year. He's a star student. And no child, I've been in the school system 28 years. And our motto was, no child left behind. Why do my child be left behind? Because he has a disability, which is pandemic. They out and they in. They out and they in. I don't want to take a chance with my child. Especially when the doctor said he could not stay in a school setting with the mask. His asthma is too bad. The shield is not going to do any good. You put a shield on, all that does is a double protection if you got a mask. But it does not protect you from the virus. So all I'm trying to do is I want you to understand how I feel. And if it was your child, would you or would you not want an education for your child? And it's not by choice that he's not at school. It's because he can't go to school. And so I feel that open laptops up and you did virtual. And even I think it was even told, I think it was the superintendent that said, let me see how he had it. Okay, try next year, but we're not going virtual. And I understand that, you're not going virtual. But last year, this is what you said, this is what he said. Well, my teacher didn't like virtual. It's not about what the teacher liked. It's all about the children. It's all about the students, because even though they didn't like it, they did it. And so, why not open up one laptop for one child that can't come? I'm not saying he can't come, he can't come. And so that's all I'm here for, to help you to appreciate that. My child, I just wanna know what the paternity is, so I know what I have to do. All right, thank you, Ms. Grace.
Forgive me if I'm reading this wrong, but Erica Williams. That's it.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all for coming. Appreciate it. We'll take all your messages uninvited. Let's start with the carrier update.
All right. Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
Tonight, glad everybody came. I mean, we'll start with our district vision, mission, values. You know, we have those in our 7 fundamentals of a successful wolf pack. We have 4 goals that we work on every year: student achievement, positive culture, community engagement, and employee retention. Those are 4 of our main goals that we're going to work on. We've been working on that for the last 2 years, so it hasn't changed yet. Our first thing we want to have is a PR update from the Malone Group.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Deidre Malone with the Carter Malone Group. Real quick, the Carter Malone Group was retained by the Cleveland School District in July of this year. And we were hired to develop and implement an integrated communications strategy, which will consist of public relations, media relations, marketing, social media, a crisis communications plan, and community engagement. The CMG team has interviewed 45 individuals, reviewed the website, archives, news stories, articles, social media posts as a part of the communications audit. The engagement and research is the foundation of this plan that we're recommending to the superintendent and to the board. The plan has measurable goals and objectives in which CSD can gauge the success of this plan, and it is a live document that we will update monthly. Here are the goals that we're recommending. Demonstrate a united voice from the CSD Board of Trustees and CSD leadership. Increase brand awareness of CSD through a proactive communications plan. Increase positive media coverage of CSD. Increase social media interaction with the community. Better inform the community of positive achievements within the district, and create mechanisms for the community to interact more frequently with the CSD Board of Trustees and the CSD leadership. And here are the objectives, and these are measurable. Increased earned media this year by 15%, increased social media posts, likes, retweets, and interaction by 15%, increased community engagement. And this is a big, big piece of the plan, because in our conversations, what we've learned is that a lot of individuals feel like we need to be in the community more. And so that's going to be a big part of the plan. And then CSD leadership attend CSD Board of Trustees community meetings. And I know that some of the board members may have meetings in their districts, and if you don't, our recommendation would be that you consider doing that at least 2 times a year, and bring the leadership into your district so they can answer those questions directly. We will update you every month on where we are in the plan, and I believe that the plan will be voted on in the October meeting, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Dr. Duff.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Malone. Enrollment. As you know, enrollment all across the board, everywhere, is declining. People are trying to find kids. We really don't know where the kids are. I mean, I'm just saying as a whole, last year I think the state of Mississippi lost 23,000 children that they could not find within the school district. So our enrollment for this year is, right now last year we were at 2,968. This year we're at 2,892, which is a decline of 76 students. which is not a bad decline for our district because looking back years and years, the normal decline is around 75 to 100 kids a year for the district. So that has a big influence on our dollars that we get every year. So you lose kids, so you lose money. So what has to happen is we have to run with the attrition that we're encountering. So when we're losing 76 kids, we have to figure out a way of making sure that we don't have too many teachers because they're not going to give me as many. So the normal thing to do is you face attrition when you have vacancies, you just don't fill them. You don't get rid of the people just saying you're going to get rid of them. You just try to make sure that you're keeping up with what you're losing every single year. And right now at this time, we have no clue what MDE is going to do because our budget for the 22-23 year is based on our numbers for this year. So we have to be more proactive than reactive. So we're trying to make plans. That's why we get our letters of intent out early. We get our contracts out early so we'll know exactly what we have going on and how we can move some things around so that we can make sure we have certified people in the classes. We have a new COVID nurse that started, Nurse Delahousie. She is over all the COVID things that we do. We meet with her and our her supervisor, which is Ms. Brinkley, every week. We meet every Friday morning at 9 a.m. and we go over all the different things that's going on in the district per school. Send you all an update every week of the COVID numbers. We also have to report every number that we have to the Mississippi Department of Health. So every week we have to report that to the Mississippi Department of Health. Actually, you can go in there and you can see every school in the state if you would like. Our cafeteria, a lot of the things, we wrote down a lot of things here tonight about the cafeteria. So I think that the Mississippi Department of Health saw all the concerns and they came and they did a surprise inspection on August 26th. Let me show you. On August 26th, they did an inspection and received the A rating on the inspection. It was August 26th of this year. So they came and did a surprise. We had no clue that they were coming. None. And they came and they did an inspection, so we got an A rating.
Was that of the food or of the general cafeteria itself?
They inspect all of it. They make sure that our line is temperature, the food.
Exactly.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what I thought. That's what I was thinking.
So right now, and I'm glad someone brought up the food because we have a policy that we will have to discuss. I don't want to discuss it right here, right now, because we have a policy in our district that says that you can opt out of getting some things if you want to. So if we want every kid to make sure that they get all the food, we'll have to change our policy to say that they can't opt out, that we still have to put it on the tray. And the policy was created to just make sure we don't have as much waste. That's what it was created for, from what we read. I want to have an example and show you an example of what the state says that we have to do about portions. For example, this is one that we pull about nuggets. I personally spoke to a parent about the nuggets, and she was appalled that a serving size is 5 nuggets. One serving size is 5 nuggets on the tray. And she said, I just thought that you're supposed to just put your hand in there and you put it on the tray. So now we have different things we have to go by as a district or as the state gives us, and we have to put it on the tray as they say. There's different things. So as far as the cafeteria, I know the board members, they ate in the cafeteria today. We said we were going to one cafeteria, but we went to another one. We didn't tell them. And I think the meal was pretty good. I know I've eaten there and talked to the kids. Dr. McCarty goes, she does lunch checks, she does breakfast checks. They do all kinds of checks, just spur of the moment. Make sure the meal prep is ready. So I appreciate all the concerns. We're taking steps. There was a lot of negative propaganda around it, but we're just trying to make sure, like our board attorney always says, perception is something else, so we just need to change the perception. School visits. We did 2 school visits today. The board did. We did the Cleveland Central High School and we did Hayes Cooper. The board is required to do a certain amount of school visits every single year. So today we did the high school. We toured around. The principals are ahead of the tour. Like I said, we toured the high school this morning. We ate there, talked to some kids, walked around, looked into the classroom. Did the same thing in Hayes Cooper, and next month before the board meeting, we'll do the same thing. We do it every month. After school tutoring has begun, finally. We've been looking forward to this. It's been going on for a while. We're paying for the teachers through our ESSA money that we got from the state. It's just taken a long time for everything to get going. We still don't have all the approval of ESSA 2 and our ESSA 3 money. So we're still working with that, but the after school tutoring program we really need it. As you've seen in the reports that I gave you about our I-rated reports and the summer school reports, I mean, we're struggling. Everybody out there, we're struggling with math. We really need some help with math at home. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, especially for the small ones. We need the 4 functions really, the adding, subtracting, the multiplying, and dividing. Because there are a lot of standards out there that if you can't do those, you can't do the standard. You can't do the complexity of the things if you don't have the base. So we really, really, really need that. We just need some assistance. And the reading as well. If a kid comes home and tell you they don't have any homework, they can always read books. They can always read. We have an AR competition for every school, so they take that very seriously, but more reading will help a lot. We had a Chromebook handout this week. No, it was last week. Last week at the high school, they had an open house. This year we're phasing in the high school. Next year we're phasing in the middle school for the Chromebooks to take home. There's a $25 maintenance fee that we charge. It's not an obscene charge. It's not a weird charge. It is a charge so that when we know the kids are going to break them or they're going to come up missing, that's our help to make sure that we can keep them replenishing it. We got to keep replenishing it. You got to have a plan for years to come. They handed out 74 Chromebooks. We have a little over 800 students. So we handed out 74 Chromebooks. And next year we're going to do the same plan for the middle school. So next year it'll be the high school and the middle school. We're really trying to get it all the way down to 3rd grade because we know all the way down to 3rd grade is when you take the exam, the state assessment, and it's online. So we're just trying to take our time.
So the 74 Chromebooks that were handed out, that's just the ones that did not have another device or anything like that, or that's the only one?
No, that's out of all the people that was there, 74 people wanted to get a device.
That was all that signed up for?
Yes, sir. That was the last count I got from Mr. Cotton.
Okay. So the other students will provide their own device.
And that doesn't mean necessarily, Mr. Bob, that they can't use, that doesn't mean they can't use the device at school. Everybody can use the device at school, but only those 74 can take it home. Yeah. And I know some people ask me, they say, don't you have insurance? We do have insurance, but as everybody's learned going through this pandemic, your insurance does not cover every device. That's why I say that $25 maintenance fee. The $25 is not meant for you to pay to use it. It is meant for a replenish so that we can keep it up year after year after year because this money is one-time money. That's a lot of money we spent on some Chromebooks. Also, schools had open house, and I've gone to almost every open house, almost all of them. I made it because some was at the same time. Open house and budget meetings. I require each school to have 2 budget meetings this year. Have one at the beginning of the year, one at the end of the year, so that they can explain exactly how they're spending their money. Their federal money, their money they get from the district, and so on and so forth. So it turned out really well. We had one virtual one, Naylor, that was pretty neat. Ms. Nova did a really good job. Some meetings had a lot of questions, some meetings had no questions. But it was a good, interesting topic for everybody to see how the schools are really spending their money, especially the one at DM Smith. That was interesting. Community meetings. We have a community advisory committee that is September 20th at Cleveland Central High School. We sent out some information for people to register so we can know, because we're really trying to get so many people from every district to represent so they can come. Ms. Short and Mr. Fuller has volunteered to be on that committee. And so I'll ask some of y'all, I only ask two because we can only have two, so I'm gonna rotate it out so that we can get some more people. We're gonna have a presentation, we're gonna have some open dialogue. We already got some commitments from some people. Shed Williams is committed, Reverend Rash is committed, both. I gotta talk to the mayor, I didn't get a chance to talk to him today, but we're trying to get all these people and plus all these different people. Mr. Don Joe, we would love to have you on the committee. We really would. You'd be a good asset to be on the committee. We're trying to get a lot of people, many people as we can. We're trying to meet once a month. We're gonna meet September, October, November, January, February, March.
And what are these committees?
The committees,
I'm saying, what are they for, to update the community and what's going
well,
on?
this one is the advisory committee. I'm gonna show you the other one, Ms. Holmes. Right now for this one, we're gonna focus on 4 topics. It's facilities, community board relations, fundraising, policy and accreditation. So those are the 4 topics, and who knows, out of all those meetings, we'll come back and probably see some other things that happen that we need to move one out and move something in. The other one, Ms. Holmes, is a community meeting. Question answer, lots of good information. September 23rd at Cleveland Central Middle, 5:30 to 6:30. So we're trying to, like Ms. Malone just said, we are really trying to get out there and go and do what we need to do. And one of the things that I have discussed with some of the people with this pandemic, and I'll say it at this community meeting, with this pandemic, you know, every superintendent comes in with a plan. You come in with a plan. I discussed the plan with the board. And within my plan, the first part of it was to make sure that we get the central office straight and we get all the things in order. So the back end of the plan was for the community. That means that at the end of the 39 weeks through the summer to the starting in August, all of that time was community stuff. Well, COVID got me. So when COVID got me, it just pushed all of the things back. So COVID put us in a bad situation. Put us in a bad situation of, I had to make some uncomfortable, unpopular decisions without anybody knowing who I am or what I stand for. But we have to make some of those decisions. And I apologize for that to everybody. But there were just some decisions that we just had to make. So there's no going back to say that we're gonna make up for that time. But now we have a chance to get out in the community and do some things and listen to some people and make some decisions. Because if I would have had everybody knowing who I am and what I'm about, all of those hard decisions that I had to make, they wouldn't have been so abrupt. I hear people all the time talk about you're not out, you're not this. Last year, it was just a bad year. It was just bad. You don't want to infect anybody. Everybody here probably knows somebody that's had COVID or something like that. Everybody. And so you don't want to put somebody else in danger. Because I'm all around talking to all these different people. That's not a good thing to do. So this year, we're trying to do a little different with the help of our PR firm. I think it's going to see a big change. It's going to be a lot of things. It's not a reactive change. It's always been planned to do. We just didn't have time to do it. So that is my report. Well, that's just my portion. Business, Ms. Kennedy.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here to present the financials for the Cleveland School District for the month of July 2021. You do have your bank statement cash balances. Can't see, so I'm gonna look over here. The district maintenance cash on hand ended through July 2021, 13.9 million. The accounts payable had a little 283,000. Payroll had about 283,000. Food service had a little over 1.2 million. We do not have any other financials to provide right now because we are closing out the fiscal year for June 30th, and we will bring those balances over from Innovac into Marathon and update all of our financials, give you how we ended for the June 30th, 2021 school year. And at that time, you will approve your ending budget, and you will see all of your updated balances, and you will know how the fund balance ended, and you should have that for your October 15th deadline.
All right.
I forgot one thing, Mr. Evans. The parade. Everybody set up, didn't they? It's been a hot topic. So, Mr. Cotton and I, we've been talking, and we've been trying to figure out a way. The biggest concern was the spread. Everybody's trying to stop the spread. The spread is happening. It's everywhere. So, Mr. Cotton has he's presenting to me an option in the morning of a, how did he put it? He's gonna alter it. An altered parade.
So we're gonna have a parade.
We're gonna have a parade.
All right, then we can move on. We can get the details.
Later.
You ain't never get finished, Mr. Bob. You never get finished. To make a long story short, he's supposed to give me some updates tomorrow in the AM, so we can get some stuff, so he can get some stuff out. No one tried to do anything that was bad. Everybody was just trying to make sure that it was safe. That's all. It wasn't an attack on anybody. That's all what it was. That's all I got for my report.
Thank you. All right. Any more in, you through with your cabinet update?
Yes, sir.
I gotta get a motion to approve cabinet update.
So moved.
Get a second? Been seconded? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Has it. All right, approval of consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
Second.
Been motion and second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right. Today time for next regular board meeting, Monday, October 11th, 6 p.m.
I'm good with it.
Tony?
You good with it, Tony?
Yes, I'm good with
Make a motion. The next scheduled board meeting will be at October 11th at 6 p.m.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Been motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Approved claims docket. You got any questions?
What option? Mr. Bob.
That was the question I was gonna ask.
You know,
Okay. So when you get it,
It's a little bit easier for us to,
Not that person.
not the first one.
Can't understand it.
Which one is on for you?
It's either 2 or 3.
2 or 3?
I need to see the school that the bill is being paid for.
You like the list and
I
then it's
don't know
over.
who the water bill we paying. I don't know who my bill is. I need to see Cleveland High. I need to Cleveland Central. That's what I need to see. Those numbers ain't working for me.
So which you said 2 or 3?
Either number 2 or number 3. I think I'm more impressed with number 3.
3.
Page 3.
What about you, Ms. Short?
I'm 2 or 3.
2 or 3?
On page 3, let's look at that psychologist
it's
bill.
actually page 21 of 83. It's, Brighter Future Educational.
Yeah, so page 21.
It's page 21 of 83. I know that sounds crazy. But actually,
Psychometrist testing, she provides testing for special, on behalf of special education.
$74,000 worth.
No.
No, it's 7,000, sorry.
Okay.
Look at period expense, that's the amount of the invoice. The 74,000 is the amount of
That's
the
what-
contract for the year.
that's what
That's
that's what the PO is for, is that
Yes.
amount?
Yes,
And you paid this period. That's what it is.
yes,
Paid her 7,000, I owe the 74,000.
that's right.
It means we owe her
We owe
For her
her
67
contract for another
$67,000.
I can understand that one.
Okay, all right. Cleveland Home and Hardware, we have that? We have figured out the problem, we have corrected
We
that
got that corrected, and they are being paid up to date through this time.
through this, and we're paying them, how much is the check gonna be for Cleveland Home and Repair, Home and Hardware, I'm sorry? $3,557 or something like that.
That's right.
All right, I'm starting on the 10th, but we're on top of that, and this ain't gonna happen again,
Yes, sir.
where his invoice are going to spam.
Yeah.
Energy bill, $17,000, I don't have a page number on that, but it'd be under energy.
At one location.
That's my fault.
That's for the whole district, not one location.
That's for the whole district.
That's for the whole district.
That's for the whole district.
Page 41. Oh,
You on it today, Mr. Bob.
well, it's so confusing on this thing. Because see, it goes from one to the other.
So number 3 for you, Tony.
It changes to, I don't know, it starts 39 and 83, and then it jumps to 2 of 83.
Yeah.
So it's
Electric bill.
All right, this is 41, page 41 of 83. And it's called S'mores Newsletter Pyramid. $1,799. Fireplace Inc.
What is it? It's, it's a newsletter, that the teachers can send out electronically. It's part of our, web license that we bought just for the teachers so that they can send out newsletters to the parents every week with everything that they're doing on.
All right, that's paid through what?
Out my federal fund.
Out of your federal fund. $1,800.
They cover it for the year.
Okay.
That's just a one-time.
That's just a one-time thing.
Okay, page 44. Howard Computers, $12,000.
That's the, that's our content filter. So it keeps blocks
So that's, is it 3rd year or 5-year contract?
annual, yes, sir.
Page 48. Page 48, JBHM. What's that on?
It's the invoice for working on behalf of the Parks Project, $3,144.
That was submitted to Arnold, or who's in charge of the Parks Project?
Me and Mr. Harrington, this already approved, that was the project you all approved, and the architecture fee, and that's the monthly bill